think, like, kind of split down the middle. There's been people that don't like season 3 of Mandalorian. This guy on Twitter was posting about, like, hey, hold on, it's right here. Hey, I like to see Disney Star Wars fans defend this one. And I was like, yeah, why not? But when I went to his channel to kind of look at his stuff, he looks like he has a track record. His whole thing is just like being mad at Disney Star Wars. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was a prequel fan. So I'm curious to see what he has to say about. See, he says Star Wars is back, baby. So, I mean, the fandom really did like when Luke showed up on screen. However, when I was looking at his other stuff, he didn't like Andor. Star Wars is boring and sad. I promise to disappoint you. So, like, which I think a lot of people loved Andor, but I think this guy has a bias against Star Wars Disney, so we're gonna go into that knowing that he has a bias. I didn't come in here to talk trash about this guy's work or his content. He looks like he works really hard on making content. So let's go check it out. But yeah, guys, Star Wars is going down the toilet. It's absolute cesspool. If you're watching it, you're and you like it, you're a Disney fan, and there's nothing more to it than that. Also, I think this is gonna have spoilers, so be warned.
Bo-Katan lights the Darksaber here at the end. Woo! Bo-Katan's got the Darksaber. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Oh, you guys can't even see him. Hold on. He's doing a little dance. He's doing a dancing number right now.
What does that mean now?
So I'm curious. I just want to hear the points that he has to make because I want to understand the other side
G'day guys, and welcome
everything.
to Raging Rhino. It's time for episode 6 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now, based on what we've got so far this season, they better have some sort of plot coming out of this because we haven't really had much of a story this season. There hasn't really...
That's not true. That's not true. I wonder, okay, what does he mean by we haven't got much of a story? As for stories, it's been about Mandalore. It's been about getting back to their home planet. It's been about Din going back to the home planet, discovering that it's not poisoned. It's been about them making a pilgrimage back over there, uniting their people, and who's going to lead those people, and the journey of the Mandalorians going from being almost as extinct as the Jedis, but possibly renewing themselves to a different glory than what was once former. I think that's pretty out in the open. They kind of this isn't me inferring. This is just multiple episodes of them clearly stating this. So let me see if he thinks differently. So we'll see.
Really been too much, and I want to actually make the argument that there hasn't really been too much from previous seasons as well. Season 1 and 2. Like going from 1 to 2 was actually pretty poorly done in regards to the story and moving everything forward. Now, of course, this is Disney Star Wars, which is absolute garbage.
Okay, so he makes the argument, and this is what bothers me. This is, I think, like, I'm okay if you want to have an opinion of something. 100% okay. Like, if your opinion's different than me, that's cool. Like, I'll tell people, like, I love Star Wars, or have you seen this movie? They'll tell me no. They'll tell me they don't like Star Wars. They'll tell me this and that. I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then they'll be like, whoa, usually when I tell people I haven't seen Star Wars, they're like, what? Haven't you? And I think that type of attitude towards people is just toxic and wrong, and everyone has different likes and preferences and stuff like that. People have lost the definition of plot and what it actually means. yeah people yeah this is coming from a writer too. From a yander. So whenever someone, but what bothers me is whenever someone starts an argument but doesn't show an example. So I think like that's just poor. Like you're kind of just stating an opinion, and I can hear your opinion, but I don't know why you feel the way you feel.
Garbage. But we've got 3 episodes left this season, and
That's
they
sad. I
really
need to work
need
on
to
a
find
video
a
if we only
plot.
have 3 episodes
really need to
left.
find a story because they keep dropping things like IG-11 and all these other things that they bring up earlier in the season, even the Mythosaur. Like, nothing is sort of adding up. Now,
Okay. I see. So, so okay. Let's address this. Let's address what he said right now. So he's saying that they bring up plot points like IG-11 and the Mythosaur, and then they get dropped immediately. So I think IG-11 it wasn't really a plot point for one. They didn't drop that plot point. It's a continuation, right? I think bringing IG-11 back discredits his sacrifice. Maybe he'll come back. Possibly he'll come back because they hinted at that, and so he might show up at the end of the season. He might show up in later seasons. But the plot point for that situation was Din needed a droid to scan the surface of Mandalore to see if it was poisonous or not. And he went to the only droid he trusted because this is showing us that Din still has trust issues with droids. Those haven't been resolved. So we still learn that he has a character flaw and a grudge against droids. And we will but that then later turned to R5, right? That was then the solution turned into a different droid that he can turn a relationship into or grow a bond with, whether or just see that droids are neutral or not all bad. So he has to form these relationships with other droids, which in turn has a continuation of that story arc through this current episode of episode 6 with him having a CSI type episode with Bo-Katan, and them being able to like you really see his distress for droids, and Bo-Katan's just kind of like, dude, what is wrong with you, man? Like, chill out. So I disagree with that. With the Mythosaur, I mean, that plot's been continuing. She saw the Mythosaur. The Mythosaur is just this big thing. Of course, you're probably referring to Chekhov's gun. Like, if there's a gun on screen, we have to see it fired. With IG-11, again, there's that closure. It's about Din with the droids. With Bo-Katan and the Mythosaur, that has been a prophecy that's being fulfilled essentially by the cults, the zealots of the Mandalorian factions. And so you have Bo-Katan being the only person who saw the Mythosaur, people believing in her because, and what does that mean? That means that they want to you have these religious people who are putting their faith, their strongest systematic way of thinking into a person now, into Bo-Katan, who has, and I think this becomes difficult for people who haven't seen previous Star Wars iterations, but who Bo-Katan has failed on multiple occasions, 2 critically occasions in the past. And so you have these people putting their faith into her. And the Mythosaur is a religious symbol that is now being metaphorically or symbolically transferred on to Bo-Katan, especially whenever she puts the pauldron on. So what the Mythosaur is hinting at, it is kind of a foreshadowing, or this season has been very biblical, especially with the beginning of the baptizing and the scripture that's been referenced on the tablet. Okay, let me mute my phone. The scripture that's been referenced on the tablet, it's been very biblical in that sense, and so you have the return of these people where the Mandalorians are kind of like I don't want to say Israelites, but it's kind of it's kind of like Moses saving the people, and so I let me simplify that. I think I've rambled a little bit too long. This is why I have scripts for my videos, because I ramble. But to simplify that, the Mythosaur plot point has not yet tied up neatly. I'm assuming we're going to see some more of it at the end of the season. However, I do think that the plot for the Mythosaur is being fulfilled.
Last episode, we had the escape or the reveal of the escape of Moff Gideon. So I wonder whether or not we're actually going to even get anything from that story.
We have to. It's
going to be
Chekhov's
very
gun.
interesting to see what we get in these last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on anymore. It's a 46-minute episode. Let's get straight into
Yeah,
this.
I
if you are
rambled a
new
lot.
here, you get to see my reactions as I go through the episode, and then, of course, at the very end, you get to hear my thoughts and my review of the episode. Let's get straight into this.
Okay, so I kind of...
Save her away.
We can bring all tribes together.
The retarded rules of the
It is time
Mandalorians.
to reap.
The entire recap was all about Bo-Katan, so this episode's gonna be about Bo-Katan. Nothing has actually gone.
You said the
from
stupid
previous season and
rules
actually
of the
made sense
Mandalorian?
the previous episode, and made sense going into the next episode. I mean, nothing's made sense from the previous season.
I mean, they are
going into
kind of
the
Henderson,
seasons,
but it adds to
you
character.
know, this is Disney Star Wars. This is the way.
I disagree with his
Like a
thoughts
ship
about
from the Fifth
seasons
Element.
moving into other seasons.
They
He
just
he
travel
won't
through
he won't
spaces.
tell he won't give examples. He just states opinions, so I can't really like say why it's a flawed argument. I can only say I disagree.
Sunlight speed.
So
You have to go with them.
No, I love you.
Please
Oh
go.
God.
I can't
What
destroy
is
everything
this?
I built.
it's Troy. It's a call. It's a I don't know what they're called. It's a cameo. It's a callback to Troy.
Charlie, I love you,
I love you.
and I will always love you.
What the fuck?
So fundamentally,
That's the open.
so he's upset about that. Fundamentally, that says a lot about the opening, which for those of you who haven't seen the episode, I don't know if I want to explain it for spoiler reasons, but fundamentally that says a lot about what's going on in this episode as Mandalorians were used as mercenaries. They've lost their way because they're kind of just saying, it's a reference to Troy. That's the word I was looking for, reference. But they do not care. They have no honor. They've lost their honor, and they only work for money. It's kind of a big point that, you know, like whereas Bo-Katan is with these zealot groups and is probably finding an understanding where she probably misunderstood them, which I'll be honest, I was hoping that there was going to be something where Din realizes that his people are wrong, but I think the armorer is realizing that there's a chance, or the armorer, as with Bo-Katan seeing the mythosaur, the armorer realizes that Bo-Katan is the new way, so she's changing the way of thinking. It can be very convoluted. I don't know. It's complex. And I like that. There's complexity to the story that's going on here, but it's still being told in a very simple manner. Him not understanding what's going on here, or him not and the reason I say him not understanding what's going on here is because he shows this moment, which can be kind of weird. You know, we have two fish aliens kind of, you know, like lovey-dovey on each other. But the whole point of it was that the essence of Star Wars is good versus evil, right? Love is good. What they have here is good and honorable. And for someone who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, this is like, oh no, they're tearing each other apart. Why would you do that? But for someone who does know Star Wars, the Mon Calamari and the Quarians, they've been at war with each other forever. These guys are always the bad guys, and these guys are always the good guys. But now there's a chance. Now, for the first time in, I think, Star Wars history, we get to see them kind of like, you know, bow chicka, wow, and that's cool. That's cool that there's peace. There's actual true peace, and not just fake peace. But that peace is broken because Mandalorians are given money to break it apart, and they don't care. They don't care about what good is in the galaxy, what hope can bring, which is what Star Wars is about. It's about regular people doing what's right. And I think he's lost that message. I think he's lost. So we'll see what's going on. Well, so he's upset. He doesn't like furry stuff.
Episode of her going to find Mandalorians, and Din Djarin's going along for the ride.
He just said the plot of the episode. That's the plot of the episode. That's exactly what's happening. This is true.
Come in real handy taking back Mandalore.
Axe Woves is
Taking back Mandalore from who? Fucking chain codes.
He's mad about everything. Taking back Mandalore for who? For themselves. Who else?
Mandalorians.
Oh my god. Is that Jack Black?
Yep.
Sip, sip. Come, please.
That's Jack in the Black.
Oh my god.
Is that a genuine laugh?
Oh my god. Is that Lizzo?
Yep.
He oversaw.
We've got Lizzo and Jack Black.
Yep.
This isn't a cameo episode. This is a celebrity cameo episode. Wow.
Yep.
Oh my god.
How is he recording this? I need to learn to do what he's doing.
Everybody's falling in love.
Perhaps
Because this episode's theme is about love. That's what the opening scene was about. They couldn't have spelled it out even all they had to, the more they could have done was write it on the screen for you.
This is horrible. Oh my god.
He doesn't like it.
So bad. It's like, this is my line. Quick, jump in with my line. It's so bad.
Quick, jump in with my line.
What? Money.
Okay, again, he doesn't give that many examples. I mean, I can understand. This is a TV show. It's not like Amazon where they make the most expensive TV show in the world. I don't know what their budget is. It's probably a lot. It probably doesn't help that Jack Black is part of the episode, nor does it help that Lizzo's part of the episode with the budgeting. That's all speculation, though. That is all speculation. I will go off of what I do know is that this episode is jam-packed with a lot of plot points, and this episode does move pretty fast. It is trying to get from point A to point B while trying to talk about characters like Mandalore or Din's grudge against robots, and kind of how Din approaches issues, how Bo-Katan approaches his issues, and it's kind of foreshadowing how, Din might be a better leader than Bo-Katan, but also that she has some leadership qualities of herself and that they can learn from one another. Basically, they make a good team, and they're going to get married, and let's ship them together, guys.
Shot. Oh my god.
You can't be mad about him. Okay.
And now we get Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wow. Celebrity cameo episode. I wonder if the seals are going to clap just as hard.
Celebrities being in Star Wars is nothing new. Celebrities have always been in Star Wars.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
What, these battle droids can fucking run like that?
I wonder, do you also get mad that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's fight, the original one, wasn't as crazy as the sequel fight, or I could say sequel/prequel fights? Technology, dude. George Lucas was revolutionizing CGI.
A droid bar.
Well, these catastrophes.
Dude, a droid bar is so cool. Okay, I'm just. It's because droids. There's this awesome video of the tragic. I can't remember what it's called. Let me pull it up. Let me do it a service because I think it's the tragic story of droids. Yeah, this right here. So go check out this video. The tragedy of droids in Star Wars. This is an amazing video. I know it's 35 minutes long, but it's worth it. It's an amazing video, and the relationship with droids in the Star Wars universe is weird. And this brought up so much insight into that because droids are slaves. And if you're anything like J.K. Rowling, you would just say droids love to be slaves. Don't you understand? But it's not as simple as that. And so seeing this,
God,
droids act in a way that we kind of expect them to act, because droids have personalities and feelings and emotions in the Star Wars universe. They're characters. C-3PO and R2-D2 are huge characters in the story. And so we get to understand what droid life is like a little bit. They're not just side characters or toys.
Another droid uprising. Yay!
I guess from his perspective, if you're looking for the bad, you'll only find bad. And maybe, again, we're going in this knowing that there is a bias. We're going in there knowing that he spends most of his time not really analyzing these shows, but kind of just maybe reacting in a certain way.
Lizzo's sister nearly got hurt.
And unleash them upon the unsuspecting citizens of Plazir. Don't make me do it.
Oh,
There's
wow.
no way out.
Oh my god, this is so lame and stupid. Here's our big
You will
giant
always
key.
be welcome in our domed paradise.
Oh, no one cares. Okay.
That was a pretty significant moment.
Okay.
I want to hear his thoughts. I'm real curious. I'm just gonna
This is
burst
so
through the rest of this
stupid.
because I want to hear his thoughts at the end.
This is fucking dumb. All that garbage just to have a meeting with some fucking Mandalorians.
It was a big side
These guys
quest.
throwing a football. Put your helmets on.
No, we got to show off the star power.
This fight is lame as shit.
It's actually a really cool fight.
Creed and chose to walk the way,
The shit,
just as our ancestors did.
shit as.
Me.
Greg, you're right. He was just holding on to it for her.
Okay. I want to hear his thoughts. I want to hear his evaluation.
Oh my god. Bryce Dallas Howard with a fucking horrible piece of shit garbage episode. Wow.
Her episodes are some of my
this
favorite.
Couldn't be any more not what I expected. I at least expected something to do with Moff Gideon or something to do with the Mythosaur or something along those lines. Something that we've actually got attachment to within this season. Yeah, okay, Bo-Katan was sent off to go and find more Mandalorians and bring them to the way. I mean, the way that even this episode opens up with the Mandalorians basically
okay, this is
just
the good stuff.
rescuing a Mon Calamari fucking prince from his lover when they're running away together. Like, this was just absolute shit.
Why? Why though?
They
Tell
go
me
to
why.
this planet where we get
I already explained the Mon Calamari part.
a celebrity
Why is it bad?
cameos. We actually got Lizzo. We actually got Jack Black
Mm-hmm.
and Christopher Lloyd all in one episode, and fuck, it was terrible. I like Jack Black as an actor. I also like Christopher Lloyd as an actor. And as for Lizzo, well, she can't act for shit based on this. Talk about...
In my reviews, you probably noticed that I rarely ever talk about like actors and them acting. That's because I don't know. I don't have an eye for that. So that's not my strength. I mean, obviously, if someone's really bad, you can tell, and if someone's really good, you can tell. But for the most part, I know nothing about acting, so I just
pulling you out of the episode. Oh, this is embarrassing.
pulling you out of the episode. I can see that. Okay, he's made a point. He's made a decent point. That he's got something there. So, bringing real world people in to talk, it essentially pulls you. Also Easter egg. They're wearing stormtrooper armor. By the way, I thought that was neat, because a lot of it is the reclamation or reusing or rehabilitating. That's what this whole season's been about, is rehabilitation, which is another plot point, another theme of the season that connects all together is rehabilitation, because the rehabilitation of retribution, if you want to think of it biblically as well, because you have the 4 stages of the Bible, and it ends with, or not the Bible. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a theologist major or anything like that. But you get what I'm saying. You have retribution being the final act of biblical sense that ties in with this. However, Yes, I can't agree with him that these cameos can take you out of the situation, out of the immersion. However, I mean, I feel like that's still a very opinionated thing. It doesn't bother me. Star Wars will always be Star Wars to me. But I can understand, and I don't think that there's an argument that needs to be said where like it will take you out. So I mean I can agree with him on that.
This is embarrassing. I don't
Why?
even know what to say. They basically go on a side mission of a side mission of a side mission.
Yeah,
and we
there's a lot of
still
side
don't
missions.
even have a main plot to this fucking season.
They do.
Nothing connects. Nothing does.
Again, like what I just said, it's very biblical, retribution, everything's about rehabilitation. We've seen where rehabilitation has failed. Now we're seeing where rehabilitation has succeeded. And now we're seeing that this episode, again, he skipped it. But this episode is the big like reward of them giving them the key to the city was them saying we will acknowledge Mandalore as another planet. Basically, we acknowledge your existence and your leadership. You have our support. This is important because, again, this whole season, the theme of the season has been rehabilitation, been fixing yourself up and bringing yourself back. In Mandalore, at the beginning of this season, was considered a toxic wasteland that was unrecoverable. And now we're learning that, it, especially with this episode, that Mandalore has a future, has hope. There is hope there.
Any good. Baby Yoda basically just spends the entire time with Lizzo for this entire episode up until they capture the guy that's fucking with their droids. Fucking there's your Baby Yoda money shot, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Fucking seals be clapping. So they go off, they basically try and find what's going on with the droids because they've been, these battle droids have been reprogrammed and repurposed.
It's a very CSI episode.
Christopher Lloyd makes the point that the people on this planet wouldn't be able to survive without the droids actually operating for them.
Yes, because they've pulled back from empirical ways so hardly, it's almost like too harshly.
So they didn't want to shut them all down. They go to the Ugnaughts, which, of course, Din Djarin, I have spoken, just so that he can speak
awesome
to them.
Moment.
This whole fucking scene was stupid.
This is the scene that I was talking about, where we see the difference between Bo-Katan and Din, and they can learn from one another, whereas Bo-Katan was impatient with the Ugnaughts and was just looking for results. Din understood their ways and respected them. And then we get a mirror image of that, where Bo-Katan is being patient, either learning from Din, but now whether or not that needs to be confirmed, we're getting a flipped roles. Now Din is being impatient, still getting results, and they're still working with one another, but you can see the opposites.
Then we get this fucking scene where they're predicting that there's going to be another malfunctioning fucking droid.
Yep.
So Din Djarin starts kicking all the droids, and of course one gets pissed off and starts running away. I've never seen these droids run so fast. Tell you what, if they ran that fast during the Clone Wars, I don't think that the fucking Jedi would have actually stood a chance.
I doubt that. I 100% doubt that. I mean, did we not watch the episode where Luke Skywalker cut the other droids into butter? You're telling me a droid sprinting is better than a Jedi reflex or a Jedi's foresight? Come on, man. Come on, dude.
So they run after
these guys are deflecting blaster bolts. A droid sprinting is gonna stop. I'm sorry. I think that's funny. I want to believe he's being sarcastic there. I really do.
And they basically just capture him. These droids come out and set up a barrier, and then they go to the bar, the droid bar. Where apparently they get this oil fucking drink.
Yep.
Because droids, and they don't want to. They're so sad because all of these droid attacks are going to mean that all the droids are replaced. So they've been programmed to feel these feelings about not wanting to be replaced by humans. How fucking stupid. This is so far from Star Wars. It's
I disagree.
actually embarrassing.
Hold on. Well, let's see. I want him to make give an example. I wanted him to not just give an opinion. I want him to give an
Basically do an
example.
investigation.
Okay, no, he doesn't. Let me see. I want him to state, like, why. Like, he's giving a thesis. He gives a lot of thesis statements, but I want an
They
evaluation.
basically just capture him. These
It can be
droids come out and
short.
set up
You
a
can just say
barrier, and
one
then
little
they go to
thing.
the bar, the droid bar, where apparently they get this oil fucking drink.
Uh-huh.
Because droids, and they don't want to. They're
'Cause
so
droids,
sad
yeah.
because all of these droid attacks are going to mean that all the droids are replaced. So
Okay.
they've been programmed to feel these feelings about not wanting to be replaced by humans.
Okay.
How fucking stupid. This is so far from Star Wars, it's actually embarrassing.
Okay. So that's all I have to go off of. This is so far from Star Wars, it's actually embarrassing. I guess a rebuttal for that. I mean, droids throughout Star Wars have shown a lot of self-preservation, with C-3PO and R2-D2 from the very first movie running away, but also bringing the plans to Luke Skywalker. C-3PO I think C-3PO gets destroyed in almost every movie, or something happens to him. Whether he loses his limbs, he gets blasted to pieces, he has a leg missing. In every one of those times, C-3PO is scared. He is scared he is about to die. He shows genuine fear. So I'm using the original, series. We even go to the prequel series. The droids, they are emoting. I don't know if this guy's a prequel fan or not, but I'm just going to go throughout history of Star Wars. The battle droids, the B-1 battle droids, they emote. They're like, uh-oh. They get those whenever they know something wrong is going to happen. You can even go into the TV shows where the droids are even more characteristically defined. C-3PO in Attack of the Clones has his moment where he says this is a nightmare, where he's going through an actual living hell in the droid chop factory when they're being made. So droid preservation has always been a thing. Them hiding from the Empire all the time. It's just weird to me. Or, I'm sorry, remember in episode 6 when the droids are being tortured? Why would anyone have the need to torture droids? You know what I'm saying? Like, that scene always kind of terrified me as a kid. Why would you need to torture droids if they didn't feel anything? So, droids, I think it's fair to say that droids have always been emotionally self-preserving, and it only makes sense. Like, yeah, if these guys keep humans already treat us like humans, but the organics, meat bags, already treat us like slaves. It's only natural for them to want to replace us if we act up. So like, and Din's always had a thing against droids because of the Clone Wars. And I don't know. I wish he said more stuff so I could have like an actual like rebuttal. But I'm really trying to play devil's advocate for him in my head.
They basically do an investigation.
But I disagree with
Lizzo's twin sister.
I think it's a poor. Not only do I disagree with him, I think it's a poor argument based on what I've said just now. It's a poor thesis statement because that's just not true. It's just clearly false.
And they take the drink oil out of the droid, and because they do that, this droid that takes it out starts going fucking spastic because it's reprogrammed with a chain code. This liquid that they drink is reprogrammed with a chain code. And apparently the way that it came onto the planet was illegally bought in by Christopher Lloyd's character.
He's a
And
baddie.
he was a separatist. And apparently the button that he said that he'll push to deactivate all the droids, this button here, will actually reprogram all the droids on the planet to go back to their basic programming.
Yep.
of being in battle. So they'll just end up killing everybody on the planet if he pushes the button. Bo-Katan uses a dart from her fucking suit to basically electrocute him, and then they place him under arrest.
Yep.
Grogu helps Lizzo win a little game ball, stupid fucking thing.
With the Force.
This is embarrassing.
Which, by the way, Jedis are not supposed to use the Force like that. Or at least the prequel Jedis. Grogu is acting like Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones.
Embarrassing as shit. At the end, fucking Lizzo and Jack Black give Bo-Katan and Din Djarin the key to the fucking planet.
Ooh, I want to hear his opinion on this.
They can always come back, and then they knight fucking Grogu.
Yeah, he's a Jedi Knight now.
This is a fucking joke. There's the giant key, and then she knights Grogu. The fuck is this? And then they go and...
I already talked... so he skipped over it. He says, what is this? I explained it earlier. The symbolic nature of it, the rehabilitation, the retribution, the biblical senses to it. So there's that.
Talk to the Mandalorians. And of course, the new Mandalorian, fucking this dude down here... Right, the guy from season 2 is leading the new Mandalorians, and the fleet that they've got are
also, look at all the black people, man. Go us, man. Heck yeah, let's go. There's more than just 2 black people in Star Wars now, baby.
Real ships and stuff like that. And Bo-Katan basically challenges him to a fight.
Oh, I don't think he's black.
The lamest fucking combat fight with Mandalorians I've ever seen. First of all, they don't put their helmets back on to be in this combat. Now, I guess they don't
It's pretty
have
silly.
to, but it's still fucking ridiculous.
It's kind of badass, though.
So lame in regards to the choreography of it.
I disagree. Why? Why is it lame in the choreographing? Let's see if he can
Shit,
say
man.
anything.
It was so shit. And of course, like, she's like, do you yield? And it's like, Mandalorians have smelt enough of our own blood.
Yep.
And like, he then gets up and says...
Okay, so he doesn't talk about it. So why is the choreographing not bad? So we know, in my reviews, I talk about action scenes and choreographing a lot. Marvel tends to be lackluster. So I'm not gonna pull up any clips or anything from the fight. I'm gonna use his own video to kind of show it off. So what makes good choreographing? Good choreographing, basically, if you can keep up with what's going on in the scene, and if there's basically that's it. That's the gist of it. Honestly, I could go. And the second part of good choreographing, which I think is more important than the first part, is does the scene elevate the story in a way that words cannot do it? I think this scene does the first part correctly. The second part, I don't know. I think the fight is just for fan service, in my opinion. But I lied. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't really had time to think about this episode till like right now. Now that I think about it, this scene does it makes Bo-Katan. This is a rite of passage for Bo-Katan. Like, she has to earn her people's respect back. She has to do it through strength. We have to show that she's capable. We get to see a little bit more of her fighting style. This guy outmatches her in strength and in multiple times, and she has to get a little more creative using her jetpack, which we saw early in the episode. She uses her jetpack a lot more than Din does. So she gets creative and she gets flexible, and her fighting style is kind of more acrobatic, very reminiscent of the prequel era, because she's from that time. So it does elevate the story in a sense. Secondly, look at this scene right here. It's the shot centered. They're making content. They're making physical content. That's contact. That's a big deal when it comes to choreographing and stuff like that. They're not cutting right whenever contact is made.
So lame in regards to the choreography.
In regards to the choreography, he's wrong. Again, centered camera. Centered camera from the last shot. Centered camera in this shot. They're making contact. Jeez, I can't speak. They're not cutting away.
It's just shit, man. It was.
Look at that. Centered camera. I, as the audience, know what's happening. Just from this frame alone, what's happening? He's shooting a flamethrower at her, and she's flying away from it. And I'm going to tell you right now, seeing the episode, they don't cut away from that. They let you experience the shot.
So shit. And of course, like, she's like, do you yield? And it's like...
Do you yield? This is big character progression. She is here for the people. Obviously, killing him could make a statement, but she again. This goes back into Mandalorian culture, or I'm sorry, Star Wars lore. If you are new to Star Wars and you know nothing about the Clone Wars and stuff like that, what this is saying is that she doesn't want to. She's here for the people. She's not here to kill any of the people. She's here to lead the people with respect, not out of fear. Black and white, plain and simple. If you've kept up with Star Wars, we know that she worked with Vizsla. I can't remember his first name, but Vizsla's good enough. And he was ruthless. And he was, and then Darth Maul. Darth Maul was more ruthless. And she's probably learned from their leadership that's just not the way to go. Respect is probably the better way. And she kind of learned a little bit of how far respect can take you from Din in this episode when he respected the Ugnaughts.
Mandalorians are best milked enough of our own blood.
So the action scene did elevate the story.
You should be challenging Din Djarin, the man with the dark saber.
Brings up a good point.
And then Din Djarin says, "No, I'm going to give it to her."
Which, by the way, the internet predicted day one. The second that episode 2, the second that episode ran, everyone was like, "Oh, so is Bo-Katan the wielder of the dark saber?"
Give it to her is because when we went to Mandalore,
so that's not just me saying it. That was
that beat me and stole the dark saber.
Yep.
And then Bo-Katan shows up and saved me using the dark saber.
Yep.
So by default,
I'll be honest. I'm a little disappointed in that story arc. I wanted there to be a kind of I'm worried that they are just going to push Bo-Katan as the leader, and I was kind of wanting Din default, kind of like I was kind of wanting a Jon Snow and Daenerys situation, but I'm okay with this. Just because things aren't hitting my expectation doesn't mean it's bad.
The rightful owner of the darksaber is Bo-Katan. So Greg, you were right all along with that.
I'm assuming that's someone he does like a podcast with or collaborations with.
Bo-Katan lights the darksaber here at the end.
Yep.
Woo!
There it is.
Bo-Katan's got the darksaber. Woo-hoo-hoo! What does that mean now? And that's the end of the fucking episode.
What does that mean?
We've got 2 episodes.
Right there. That's something, this little thing, letting the audience infer what's going to happen.
Episodes left of this season. We still
Only
don't have
2?
a plot. We still don't even
We
really
do have a
much
plot.
of a
I've explained
story.
that. I explained the
They
story.
keep leaving things like in the rearview mirror, like with IG-11.
Foreshadowing.
What's the bet that Grief Karga's been able to get the droid working again by either next episode or the last episode? What's the bet that
What's the bet? I think whether IG-11, because they said they were going to get IG-11 up and working, and that we didn't see them put him back on the statue from before. There is a chance he'll come back for one of the last 2 episodes. If not, I still do feel like that story is complete, but they have teased it. And again, I think Chekhov's gun is in effect here.
I don't know. We may not
Which, again, if there's a gun on screen, then it has to be fired.
even see any more of the mythosaur. And if we do...
We will.
What are we going to get a massive time jump? So not only Bo-Katan, she's got the darksaber, but she's going to ride a mythosaur. We've still got to see what they do with the little hatchling baby fucking bird dinosaur things that they...
If you're worried about that, wow. I think that's nitpicking. That's not even a plot point. I'm sorry. That was kind of fun. He's worried about birds. If you're worried about the birds, I'm sure the birds will show up, but they're not going to show up this season. They're not going to show up to this season. I think the birds were symbolic in the fact that how the Mandalorians adopt everyone. And this was stated in this episode, and how she was saying how they're more Mandalorian than they are, because Bo-Katan and the people of Mandalore talked about bloodlines and royalties and stuff like that. Whereas OG Mandalores, with Mandalore the Ultimate. I'm not talking about Disney's version, Mandalore the Great. I'm talking about Mandalore the Ultimate. He's over here adopting people because it's the warrior's way. Mandalorians are a culture. You know, they're not a people. Anyone can be a Mandalorian, which is why I think it's great that we have someone. We got Baby Yoda training to be a Mandalorian, because that's what it's all about. You can even have someone like a cute little green little alien as a Mandalorian as well.
They captured.
It's a
the
warrior
new three
way.
little foundlings. Who's going to be riding those, I wonder? Is it going to be Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and the
Who cares?
Armorer? Is it going to be Vizsla? Who knows? Who fucking cares?
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is so far removed from Star Wars. and
Oh, I
people
get what
wanna
he's saying.
say,
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I get what he's saying. Like, who cares about the birds, right? Why even show the birds? If not, who cares? I already explained it. It's because it shows they're adopting the ways of Mandalore the Great. Mandalore the Great, warrior culture, everyone gets adopted.
Dave and John are the fucking saviors. Oh my god, they're making Star Wars. It's brilliant. It's so amazing. Are you
is good.
fucking kidding? Are you joking? This is garbage. It's absolute shit.
Why?
This
Please tell me
episode
why.
gets a minus 10 out of 10 with 2 episodes left in the season. I don't even know what more to say about this absolute garbage I'm watching. What a joke.
You didn't say anything about it. You didn't. Ah! All right.
What an absolute joke. Oh, man. I don't even know anymore. Well, that's the episode. So, we'll have to wait and see what they come up with fucking in the last 2 episodes to see if there's actually any fucking story there.
Yeah.
To see if there's anything actually worth anything out of this entire season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this episode? What do you think of this season so far? This godforsaken garbage season of fucking apparent Star Wars. Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for fucking episode 7. Later, guys.
What a true Star Wars fan. I'm saying that unironically, by the way. What a true Star Wars fan. Watch it to the end. I mean, like, honestly, even if you're going to be this mad, like, and you're still watching Star Wars, good for him. Well thought out video. Well, no, I'm sorry, not well thought out. I'm sorry, well made video. I like the interaction. I like that. Obviously, there's some story that's going on here with the fans. Oh, with his fans, there's communities. He has like inside jokes and stuff like that. Let me link the video for you guys right here. Don't go. I don't think like going. Again, this isn't like a hate raid. Like, I'm not trying to go in here and say that this guy's a horrible person. I think I do like the quality of the video. I do like the personal, like, you know, he obviously has moments where he stops and puts things, and he's got a personality to everything, and I like his charisma, and so I definitely I enjoy. The video is entertaining. I'll say that much. I will say this though. I think I would have had some more rebuttals, or I would have enjoyed having a more of a conversation if he actually brought up some examples or reasonings behind his statements. You know, he did a lot of thesis. He had a lot of opinions, but he never evaluated or explained his thesis that he would drop. So again, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad. If he feels this way about Star Wars, and he's this passionate about it to where he can make these videos about them, I respect it. 100% respect it. Like, good stuff. But yeah, that's him. You can check him out. It looks like he likes posting about Star Wars. So if you enjoy Star Wars content, but you're mad at Disney, this is the guy. This is your guy right here. He's mad at Disney, and he a little more insight. I think he brought up a lot of argumentative points, but with not a lot of insight into them. So maybe in the future I'd like to hear from Insight. But I'm gonna tweet at him, see if we can get a response from him. See if he'll watch this video. I'll send this video his way if he even responds to it or looks at it. But all right, YouTube. Until next time, play nice.